The sun's light brought daylight to the party as they rested on the road. Greeting them were the eyes of the large adult blue dragon staring at them from down the trail. Hello everybody, I'm Haven the Hare and welcome to the campaign diaries of my group's running of the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. We are starting with Chapter 4, that's Session 11 for those of you keeping track. Spoiler alert, if you are interested in not having any part of the Hoard of the Dragon Queen ruined for you, I do recommend you go watch something else because we're about to ruin the first part of Chapter 4. We're going to talk about how my party got through the first part of Chapter 4 and kind of the wrap-up of the end of Chapter 3, and let's get started. So when we left our adventurers, they had just bedded down at the keep in Green Nest for a nice, secure, safe, long night's rest. Well, I say long night, let's just say they arrived very early in the morning and slept way past noon like a teenager in high school. The party awoke, well-rested and looking for food. However, they were surprised to find out that one of their own was missing. Rosalind had disappeared. Her bed was made, her pack was gone. She was nowhere in sight in the quarters that the governor had given them. A little worried, they set about and asked a few of the guards and found out that in the middle of the night she had grabbed her bag and left, muttering something about her father. Not being told otherwise that the heroes of Green Nest were allowed to basically do as they pleased, she was given a horse and took her leave. The party accepted this and proceeded to continue on. They grabbed some food, resupplied, they went shopping a little bit, what's available in a small town that had been recently ransacked with only one shop that had been resupplied. They were then offered, actually, that they were looking to find some new gear for Eddie. Specifically, Callie and Fire were trying to find some new gear for Eddie. He did find a knife that was given to him from the blacksmiths. At this time, also, Remy was out in the town and had returned some jewels and a necklace that were found in the hatchery. Turns out they belonged to some of the members of Green Nest, and she happily returned them, kind of in a good gesture. The heroes were welcomed back in Green Nest, and the goodwill from Green Nest included equipping Eddie, even though Eddie's had only been with them about half the time, but his part in this had been relayed back to the rest of Green Nest. And even though he's a kobold, they were willing to accept him and accept his part they played in at least the party's help of getting back, taking on the Raiders' camp back in Chapter 2. The governor allows Eddie to basically go shopping in the armory of the keep. He decides to take a new short sword to replace Tetanus, his very rusted, disgusting, dirty blade. He also decides to take a hand crossbow. And they also grab a set of leather armor that they're going to try and tool down to something more his size, being that it's standard armor for a standard humanoid. Remy is going to take on that, thinking her skills are apt enough. And on the road, she plans on adapting it. So now comes the giant egg in the room. The party had brought back a blue dragon egg at an unknown point of gestation. So, or maybe gestation's not the right word. I think it's incubation. My apologies to anybody who's about to correct me on that. So let's call it incubation. An unknown amount of incubation left on this very large blue dragon egg. So the party convenes with Leotian and Governor Nighthill and the guard Escalart and decide what to do. The party would like to leave the egg in the care of Green Nest. However, being that a blue dragon is what attacked them, they are very reluctant to keep an egg that might be attached to this blue dragon. Leading a little more light to this is the documents that Lutau found and studied during the morning. And with the help of Leotian, they were able to decipher the hidden message in the border of the note. That they must keep safe the eggs, specifically the blue one, for it is the only leverage they have over the blue dragon. As well as that the Harpers have caught on to their plot. And to speed up their collection of gold and riches to gather the hoard and move it north. because they're afraid that the dragon's going to attack, the governor is very strict and very stern on the fact that he does not want this egg in his keep. Escobar agrees. The party reluctantly decides that they will take it with them. So the arrangements are made for specifically a smaller cart that's faster and able to move faster and be more nimble in case a chase has to happen or they have to get away quickly, depending on exactly who else might want this egg back. The party gathers their rations, their gear, their packs, and makes ready to leave. They travel north to El Terrell. It's about a 6-day journey, about a week. They get about half a day's travel before making camp. Nothing really happens. On the morning of the 3rd day of travel, dawn is about half an hour, 45 minutes out. The ocean and Lutao are finishing up their watch when they feel a presence about 150 feet down the road, just out of sight of their campfire. Lutao decides to investigate, travels perpendicular from the trail until he is out of the firelight's vision, shall we say, and then travels parallel to the trail to about the point where he feels that the presence or that he had heard something or whatever it was that made them feel that something was out there, and then decides to go another about 50 feet and then cut in. And what this does is make it so that whatever was on the trail is now silhouetted against the campfire that he is looking at. So it's very ingenious for a human to do in a way of being able to actually see something that's in the dark without actually having dark vision. And what he does see is a very large mound now sitting on what was an empty trail when they went to bed. He manages to sneak back the way he came, all the way back, and alert Leoshin that there is something very large blocking the trail now. They wake a few select party members. Specifically, they wake Arkin, Nahis, and Remy. And they convene a little meeting there and decide what they're going to do next. And they've decided that they will eventually wake up Fire, but they're going to keep Eddie asleep. Actually, I fear that back. They then wake up Callie, convince Callie to put Eddie into a permanent sleep, a magical sleep, and then they wake up Fire, let her know what's going on. Then they wait for the beginning rays of sunlight to actually creep over the top of the mountains and illuminate the grasslands that they're in. Sure enough, down the trail from them, about 150 to 160 feet, is the form of a very large adult blue dragon sitting on its haunches, just watching the party. Arkin shouts with magical enhancement in Draconan to the dragon, asking for it to state its intentions. The dragon responds that it is here to negotiate for the release of its egg. They'd speak a little more and decide that they will speak in common so that the rest of the party can hear, and that the party shall approach, and the dragon will not move. So the dragon does not move as the party approaches, and actually half the party approaches. It's Nahis, it's Arkin, and it is Lutao. And I want to say, Fire approach the dragon. Remy, Eddie, sleeping Eddie, Callie, and Leoshin stay back in camp. So the four walk closer to the point where they don't have to shout anymore, or at least to speak loudly, but still outside of striking range, except maybe for a breath weapon. And proceed to negotiate and ask that the dragon share its information about the cult, what they were doing, where they're going, and anything else that the dragon would feel is pertinent to a party looking to stop them, in exchange for the blue dragon egg. They did bring the egg with them, by the way, in the cart. The dragon then proceeds to fill them in that they are amassing a hoard, and they are, in their words, trying to rise the multi-headed queen. The blue dragon did not like this idea, because the rise of the queen means servitude, in their opinion. And They like being free and making their own decisions and not having to bow to anybody's will. The only reason that the blue dragon was helping the cult to begin with was by the capturing of its egg. Blue dragons still want their young. The party asks for a bit more information, including the fact that the dragon does know that they are heading north. To where exactly, they didn't know exactly where the end goal was. But it did confirm that this is what they're doing, and they're raising as much money as possible as an offering to the multi-headed queen. Satisfied with these answers, the party unstraps the egg from the cart and readily releases it to them. The dragon then, as it's picking up the egg, plucks a single scale from its chest and leaves it behind before backing far enough away that it feels like it won't cause any damage, taking flight, and then proceeds to take flight and take off. One note, it did say that the dragon was going to leave. It did not want to be anywhere near here when and if the Cult of the Dragon is able to actually finish their mission. And so it was going off to raise its young far away. Fire picks up the dragon scale, feels a power within it, and pockets it. And unfortunately, she was very upset at the loss of the egg. She was very intrigued. This was the biggest shiny she'd ever seen. The party reconvenes. The party with the egg fills the other part of the party in on what had been said, confirming Leotian is, of course, says this confirms his worst fears of what was going on, and that it is time to make haste to El Turil to meet with the rest of his friends and to share this information with them. The party rides on, and in relative peace, knowing that they are now getting closer and within a few days' travel of El Turil, are within the Hell Riders' presence, and they're policing, knowing that there's less likelihood of being attacked. They quickly make the way the rest of the 3 days onto El Turil. Now, as they rise at 12, El Turil has a second sun that floats above it, banishing all undead. And it never sleeps and it never sets. The city is bathed consistently in sunlight. Granted, they arrive during midday and are not quite surprised by this yet. Leotian leads them through the dockworks and into the western part of the lower city and to the Two Black Antlers Tavern. Here he tells them that they will not only have great food, but they will meet the rest of those who, like Leotian, are trying to thwart the plans of the cult. They find the Tavern of the Two Black Antlers to be a very busy, loud place. Multiple levels of cheer and table mazes as things have been moved and shifted. Much merriment and joy is going on. They eventually make their way into the lower level of this multiple levels of this tavern, where they eventually come across Onfor Frum, a paladin who is dressed in plate mail armor still, with a blazing gauntlet on the front of it. He clasps Leotian around the shoulders, giving him a huge bear hug that is kind of wanted, and introduces himself and he is a boisterous, louder, larger-than-life personality, and he's so happy to meet the people who have befriended the ocean. Oh my gosh, he's so happy. He challenges a few of the members of the party to a couple of games. First of which was Nahis, who he challenged to an arm wrestle, but she declined, because showing off is not her way. However, Remy does take up the offer for a knife-throwing competition, which she wins. Our Tabaxi Rogue accepts a challenge to a sprint race across the building, to which a tiefling steps forward to race her. Tabaxi easily beats him, but it was close. There was a little bit of trickery involved, I think, from the tiefling, but nobody called ill sport because Fire did win. It is also mentioned that soon hereafter, in the evening, that a martial competition of strength and skill will be held, called the Pit. After the challenges are done, Fire does actually ask if there's anybody who could identify this blue dragon scale that was left behind and the properties it might have, since it feels magical to her. One of Ulfric's companions offers to do so and steps off to the side to do this. And it's at this point where we called it for the evening. And I think it was a great night for what would have been basically a boring traveling companion. This was a great way of breaking it up. If you'd like to see why things happened and the way things happened and higher about my DM side of things, there's my behind the screens videos called How Haven Did It, where I'll discuss exactly that. Feel free to watch that if you'd like to see what was going on in my head, as well as some of the things I changed from the actual book from this campaign. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like what I'm doing, please do hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing signal so you can get notified when I post a video. I do them about once a week-ish. There's 2 videos usually, but they're 2 short videos, depending on which ones you want to watch. And if you would like, if I am still under 100 subscribers at the time you watch this, feel free to subscribe, because once I hit that 100 mark, I'm going to choose randomly 1 subscriber and give away a free medium-sized chainmail dice pouch that I make. These are just 2 examples that I have. It'll be a medium-sized if you would like it to have any color to it, or it'll be a large size if you'd like it in just plain silver. So feel free to subscribe and like and help me out, and I'll be helping you out. If you also would like to support me, I'm never going to monetize this channel because I hate commercials. So feel free, down below, I have a card game that I sell called 5-Minute Sword Fight, as well as these chainmail dice pouches I make off an Etsy store. With that, I'm going to leave you with some final thoughts. First of which is, what is going on with the blue scale that Fire collected? What information is Ulthram going to share, and how is he going to react to the information shared by the ocean and the party? And will we find out what's going on with the rest of the Sword Coast? And lastly, who's going to fight in the pit? I've been Haven the Hare. Thank you so much for watching, and may you make all of life's saving throws. Our band of adventurers are waking up from a much-needed long rest at the keep in... And I burped again. Note to self, cut down on the soda. So I have been Haven the Hare. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like, do please throw a like and subscribe down. It would be great and help me out. Speaking of that, I am actually still doing a giveaway if I'm still under 1,000 members. I would love to have 1,000 subscribers. But if I'm actually under 100, at 100 subscribers, I'm going to choose one of those lucky subscribers to get a free chainmail dice pouch that I make. If you're also interested in chainmail dice, blah, 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 blah. And so, final, shit. So read what I just said, but put it after this. Proper cart is found. The party is outfitted with some rations, and they prepare to leave Green Nest to make the trek north to shit. Not to shit. That's me shit. So Eddie is allowed to take a few armaments from the keep's armory. Armaments from the armory. That sounded very redundant.